Good morning students. Today I am starting new topic of this chapter, that is important and easy to understand, immunity. And we can also call this immunity as disease resistance. So what this immunity is? See, generally what happens that in our day-to-day life, every day we are coming in contact with thousands of microorganisms and most of them are pathogenic, means they are having the ability to cause disease. But it is not the case that every day we are falling ill or we are having the effect of that microorganism or pathogen on our body. That simply means that our body is having a system, that system has ability to fight against that particular infectious agent so that we are not going to develop the disease. That means we are having a resistant mechanism against a pathogen to avoid a certain disease, and that is what, that is our immunity. इसका सिंपल सा मतलब है कि हमारी बॉडी का सिस्टम फंक्शन करता है किसी भी पैथोजन के अगेंस्ट फाइट करने में, एंड व्हेन आवर बॉडी सिस्टम इज फाइटिंग अगेंस्ट अ पैथोजन, सो दैट पैथोजन इज नॉट गोइंग टू कॉज डिजीज इन आवर बॉडी, और वो हमारी बॉडी का डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म क्या है, दैट इज immunity. So immunity is simply a defense mechanism of our body that is going to fight against the foreign agents or substances which are responsible for the cause of different type of diseases, and that's why this natural system is working to fight against different type of diseases. अब हमारे पास ये immunity कैसे एक्वायर होती है, मीन सिंपली हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू एक्वायर दिस immunity. So there are different methods through which the immunity is acquired. I am going to discuss 3 methods with the help of which we are going to acquire immunity. The first thing that is responsible for the acquiring of the immunity is when we are coming in contact with different diseases. Diseases. Simply when we are having a disease, जब भी कोई पैथोजन हमारी बॉडी में एंटर करता है और हमें डिजीज होती है, that pathogen is going to multiply in number in our body. At that time our immune system get activated, and what our immune system is going to do after activation, our immune system is going to recognize that pathogen as a foreign particle, and against that foreign particle antibodies are going to be formed, and these antibodies are responsible for the killing of the foreign particle. So when we are having a particular disease, our body is going to acquire immunity against that particular disease by forming antibodies. So when we are having that disease, that particular disease for the first time, जब पहली बार हमें कोई डिजीज़ होती है उस टाइम पे हमारे इम्यून सिस्टम को टाइम लगता है एंटीबॉडीज प्रोडक्शन में, बिकॉज आर इम्यून सिस्टम इज गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्टिकल, प्लस that is going to analyze the structure and chemical nature of that particular particle. After that, specific antibodies are going to be formed against that particular particle. So this whole process is going to take time. इसको टाइम लगता है, इसलिए पहली बार डिजीज मैनिफेस्ट हो जाती है. Then our immune system gets stronger और disease will be treated either with the help of medicines or simply our immune system will get more and more stronger and we are able to cure the symptoms of that particular disease. But when same disease is going to happen again, then what happens? Then our immune system has memory cells for that particular foreign particle. जब एंटीबॉडीज़ बनती हैं, एंटीबॉडीज़ के साथ क्या बनती हैं, मेमोरी सेल्स बनती हैं विच आर हैविंग द एबिलिटी to store the information of that particular foreign agent. So already जब second time हमें disease हुई तो memory cells already हमारे body में present हैं. These memory cells, अब हमारे immune system को time waste नहीं करना है, मीन्स रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करना है, उसके स्ट्रक्चर को एनालाइज नहीं करना है, बिकॉज दैट इज ऑलरेडी फीडेड इन द memory cells. So here the production of antibodies will be more fast as compared to in the first case. So यहाँ पर antibodies का production ज़्यादा जल्दी होगा और second time हमें disease नहीं होती है. That means we have acquired immunity against that particular disease. Now some diseases are there which are only going to occur only one time, only once in our lifetime, means we are going to acquire a lifetime immunity for those particular diseases. Simple examples are mumps, smallpox, polio. So they are going to occur once in a lifetime, then we are having a lifetime immunity for these particular diseases. Some diseases are there which are having immunity that is going to function for some years only. After that again we are going to have that particular disease. For example, diphtheria, typhoid fever. So here they are having the immunity for few years, and there are some diseases which are having the immunity that is going to work for only for few days, like common cold, flu. So their immunity is going to work for few days only. सिर्फ कुछ दिन तक हमारी बॉडी इम्यून रहती है इनसे, then again we are susceptible for the disease. Reason? Because जो common cold है that is going to transmit from cell to cell. These are viral diseases और ये एक सेल से दूसरी सेल को इन्फेक्ट करता है. सो जो एंटीबॉडीज हमारे फ्लूइड में प्रेजेंट है, प्लाज्मा में प्रेजेंट है, दीज एंटीबॉडीज आर नॉट एबल टू वर्क अगेंस्ट दीज पैथोजेंस. प्लस अगर हम फ्लू की बात करते हैं, से इन्फ्लुएंजा इज देयर, सो दीज आर वायरस विच आर गोइंग टू चेंज देयर स्ट्रक्चर. They are very much fast in adaptation, so they keep on changing their structure. So हमारी body में जो already made antibodies है, after a virus is getting changed, that means these antibodies are not going to function against that virus anymore. So because of this continuous adaptation, antibodies जो पुरानी हमारे बॉडी में प्रेजेंट है वो इनके अगेंस्ट फंक्शन नहीं करती है. सो वी आर एक्वायरिंग डिफरेंट टाइम इम्यूनिटीज फॉर डिफरेंट डिजीजेस. सो दैट्स वाई दीज डिजीजेस आर इन्वॉल्व इन एक्वायरिंग इम्यूनिटी. एंड द स्टडी of defense mechanisms and diseases is known as immunology. Now second way by which immunity can be acquired is vaccination. दूसरा तरीका क्या है? वैक्सीनेशन की हेल्प से हम इम्यूनिटी एक्वायर कर सकते हैं. नाउ जो हमारा फर्स्ट मेथड था, इन दैट मेथड इम्यूनिटी इज एक्वायर्ड आफ्टर वी आर गेटिंग द डिजीज. ओवर हेयर we are going to acquire the immunity before having the disease. disease होने से पहले ही immunity acquire की जाती है vaccines की help से. and what these vaccines are? vaccines basically क्या हैं? vaccines are having a pathogen that is present in weakened form, that is extremely weak, either it is killed or it is living. If it is living, then it is attenuated. Attenuated means the capacity of that particular pathogen to cause the disease is lost. पैथोजन तो वही है, लेकिन वो हमारी बॉडी में जाने के बाद डिजीज कोज नहीं करता है, वो दैट इज वीक, उसको हम एटीन्यूएटेड पैथोजन बोलते हैं. सो आइदर अ एटीन्यूएटेड पैथोजन और अ हीट किल्ड पैथोजन इज एंटर्ड, और स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ द पैथोजन will be enter inside our body with the help of vaccine. So we can use a attenuated pathogen or we can use a heat killed pathogen in vaccines. We can also use a chemical or a peptide of that particular pathogen, or we can use any synthetic chemical that is resembling with that पैथोजन. एक्चुअल में पैथोजन इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं करते हैं, बट कोई भी स्ट्रक्चर जो उसे रिजेंबल करता है दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी इंट्रोड्यूस्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ वैक्सीन. So when these are going to enter inside our body, they are not having the ability to cause the disease, but they are having the ability to activate our immune system. और जब हमारा immune system activate होता है, then what is going to happen? Again antibodies will be formed against this particular pathogen, plus memory cells are going to form. Antibodies short lived होती हैं, they are going to function by interacting with these, we can say these, we can call these foreign particles. So body is going to recognize them as foreign particles. So antibodies are short lived and they are responsible for their destruction, while memory cells are long lived. Sometimes they are going to live to complete lifespan. जितने देर तक हम जिंदा रहते हैं उतने लंबे टाइम तक ये मेमोरी सेल्स भी सर्वाइव करते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दे आर लॉन्ग लिव्ड. सो these memory cells and antibodies are going to function, and whenever a, you can say, living or pathogenic that is present in its full form is going to, infectious agent is going to enter inside our body's immune system is already activated against it. वैक्सीन की हेल्प से हमने ऑलरेडी अपने इम्यून सिस्टम को उस पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन के लिए एक्टिवेट किया हुआ है. सो वेन एवर दैट इज गोइंग टू एंटर इनसाइड आवर बॉडी, आवर इम्यून सिस्टम इज गोइंग टू किल दैट पर्टिकुलर pathogen and we are not going to suffer from that particular disease. This is how vaccines are functioning, and they are providing us immunity before we are going to have a particular disease. Now some vaccines are having the capability to provide us immunity for the lifetime, while for some vaccines we need booster doses. Means after getting the vaccine we need to take some more dose of that particular vaccine, जिन्हें हम booster dose कहते हैं, to get the adequate immunity. So this is how vaccines are providing immunity. Now the third way of getting immunity is with the help of antitoxins. So the third one is antitoxins. Antitoxins basically क्या है? Antitoxins are the antibodies that are going to be produced against the toxin that is produced by the infectious agent. कोई भी पैथोजन हमारी बॉडी में अगर टॉक्सिन्स प्रोड्यूस करता है, उसके अगेंस्ट जो एंटीबॉडीज प्रोड्यूस होती हैं, दे आर एंटीटॉक्सिन्स, और दीज कैन बी इंट्रोड्यूस्ड फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड ऑल्सो. Either they are being secreted in our body or they can be inserted inside the body of an individual from outside also. So that is known as antitoxins. So these are the antibodies produced against a toxin that is produced by an infectious agent. So these are some of the ways through which our body is going to acquire immunity. Now this immunity is of two types. ये immunity दो type की है depending upon when we are going to acquire this immunity. So simply the two type of immunity is are innate immunity, और इसको हम बोलते हैं inborn immunity, and second one is acquired immunity. So we are having two different type of immunities depending upon when we are having this immunity inside our body. Innate immunity or inborn immunity is that type of immunity that is going to be present inside our body from the time of birth. बर्थ के टाइम से ही ये इम्यूनिटी हमारे अंदर प्रेजेंट है, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नोन एज इनबोर्न इम्यूनिटी और innate immunity. So it is going to be present from the time of birth of an individual. And it is going to function for the complete lifetime of an individual. Second है acquired immunity. एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी एक इंडिविजुअल बर्थ के बाद जैसे ही एनवायरनमेंट के कॉन्टेक्ट में आता है, एनवायरमेंटल कॉन्टेक्ट मीन्स दैट इंडिविजुअल इज ऑल्सो कमिंग इन कॉन्टेक्ट विद वेरियस फॉरेन सब्सटेंसेस, foreign particles that are present in the environment. So after coming in contact with these foreign particles, our immune system, or you can say our body, is going to acquire immunity. That is the acquired immunity. So this is the immunity that is acquired by after birth of an individual, when he or she comes in contact with different foreign particles that are present in environment. सो जैसे जैसे इंडिविजुअल बड़ा होता जाएगा, जितने डिफरेंट पार्टिकल्स के साथ कांटेक्ट में आता जाएगा, उतना ही ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग उसका इम्यून सिस्टम डेवलप होता जाएगा. दैट इज़ आर एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी. सो अगेन द सेम थिंग इज देयर. एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी में वी कैन से कि कुछ डिजीजेस के लिए हम लाइफ टाइम के लिए इम्यूनिटी एक्वायर करते हैं, कुछ के लिए वो कुछ ईयर्स तक फंक्शन करती है, और फॉर सम डिजीजेज इट इज़ गोइंग टू फंक्शन फॉर फ्यू डेज ओनली, बट हेयर इट इज़ गोइंग टू फंक्शन फॉर लाइफ टाइम. अनदर थिंग, जो हमारी इनेट इम्यूनिटी है, दिस इनेट इम्यूनिटी इज प्रोवाइडिंग अ नॉन स्पेसिफिक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म. यहाँ पर जो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म है दैट इज नॉन स्पेसिफिक, मीन्स ये एक पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन के लिए फंक्शन नहीं करता है. इट इज गोइंग टू फंक्शन फॉर ऑल द पैथोजेंस, मीन्स इट इज कॉमन फॉर ऑल द पैथोजेंस. सो इट इज गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड नॉन स्पेसिफिक defense mechanism. While if I talk about acquired immunity, तो acquired immunity वापस से किसकी वजह से है? It is because of our B cells, T cells, means the cells which are involved in the secretion of antibodies, memory cells, or the T cells which are involved in the or you can say fight against the virus cells, the cells which are invaded by virus. So here we are going to have the specific defense mechanism, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि एंटीबॉडीज़ क्या होती हैं, फंक्शन में स्पेसिफिक होती हैं, वो एक पर्टिकुलर एंटीजन या पैथोजन के अगेंस्ट सिक्रीट होती हैं और फंक्शन करती है. सो दिस इज मेकिंग आवर स्पेसिफिक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म. And this portion, the innate immunity, is making our non-specific defense mechanism. So we are going to discuss both non-specific defense mechanism as well as specific defense mechanism. First of all, I want to talk about acquired immunity, that this acquired immunity is of two types. Then we will discuss about these defense mechanisms. So we are having two type of acquired immunity. One is active immunity and the second one is passive immunity. What does they mean? Active immunity simply means that immune system of an individual is going to activate and form antibodies against a particular पैथोजन. इंडिविजुअल का खुद का इम्यून सिस्टम एक्टिवेट होता है किसी भी पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन के लिए, एंड दैट इम्यून सिस्टम इज गोइंग टू फाइट अगेंस्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन। प्लस जब इंडिविजुअल का खुद का इम्यून सिस्टम एक्टिवेट होता है, एंटीबॉडीज बनती हैं, तो उसके साथ क्या बनेंगी, मेमोरी सेल्स भी बनेंगी। सो वेन एवर दैट इंडिविजुअल इज अगेन गोइंग टू हैव अ इंटरेक्शन विद दैट पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन, इट्स इम्यून सिस्टम विल वर्क मोर फास्ट और उसको वो दोबारा डिजीज होने के चांसेस कम हो जाते हैं। सो दिस एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी इज प्रोवाइडिंग द इंडिविजुअल अ लॉन्ग टर्म immune response, or you can say a long term effect, that is active immunity. So immune system of an individual becomes active against a pathogen and form antibodies and memory cells. So this type of immunity is long lived, because we know memory cells are having more lifespan as compared to antibodies. So it is going to provide a long lived immunity to the individual. So antibodies are produced inside the body of the individual. While when we are talking about passive immunity, in passive immunity, the individual, the body of the individual is not going to produce antibodies. We are going to prepare the antibodies in some different organism. Say rat is there, or sometimes sheep is used in immunology. So antibodies are produced in some different organism. They are extracted out from that organism. They are purified and then they are going to be introduced into the infected person. So after that, after acquiring, or you can say after having the antibodies for that particular disease, that is going to give immediate effect to the infected person. But here the disadvantage is that this immunity is only short lived and it is not going to function for long time. और जब इस इंडिविजुअल को दोबारा से वो इन्फेक्शन होगा या पैथोजन एंटर करेगा, उस टाइम पे भी उसको इम्यूनिटी या उसका इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स फंक्शन नहीं करेगा, बिकॉज उसका खुद का इम्यून सिस्टम एक्टिवेट नहीं हुआ था। हमने बाहर से बनी बनाई एंटीबॉडीज़ उसकी बॉडी में इंट्रोड्यूस की थी। सो इमीडिएट रिलीफ के लिए पैसिव इम्यूनिटी इज़ गुड, बट फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट पैसिव इम्यूनिटी इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू फंक्शन. सो हेयर antibodies made in different organism for a particular pathogen is introduced in the body of infected person. The result is that these are going to give that person immediate relief, but they are not going to function for long time. So no long term effect is there. One more example of this passive immunity is innate immunity, means the immunity that is present in a newborn baby. When a baby is growing in the mother's womb, through placenta, mother is transferring antibodies inside the body of the infant, because at that time infant immune system is not active, and during milk feeding also antibodies are transferred from mother into the body of the baby infant, that is helping the infant to fight against the diseases up to that time when his or her immune system is not developed. After that the mother antibodies are going to be dead and individuals or infants own immune system is going to be activated. So these are the types of acquired immunity, active and passive immunity. Now we are going to discuss about the types of defense mechanism. I already told you there are two types of defense mechanism. One is non-specific defense mechanism, that is going to function similarly for all the pathogens, and one is specific defense mechanism in which the chemicals like antibodies are going to form specifically for one particular foreign agent. So today we are going to discuss about non-specific defense mechanism. This non-specific defense mechanism is basically preventing the entry of pathogens inside our body. Again, this non-specific defense mechanism is of two types. One is external defense, that is known as first line of defense, and the second one is internal defense, that is acting as second line of defense. Now this external defense is comprising of defense is comprising of physical barriers and physiological barriers. We are going to discuss them one by one. Our internal defense or second line of defense is comprising of chemical defense, or you can say chemical barrier, and cytokine barrier. So first we are going to discuss about external defense, means physical and physiological barrier, what they are and how they are functioning, and then we are going to talk about internal defense, that are our chemical and cytokine barriers. So first one is physical defense. These are the physical structures which are present on the outer surface of our body, like our skin is present, and they are preventing the entry of pathogens inside our body. The simple example of physical defense is skin. हमारे जो स्किन की बाहर लेयर प्रेजेंट है, that is tough, that is made up of a hard protein, that is keratin, and it is not allowing any of the pathogen to enter inside our body. So it is acting as a first line of defense for all the pathogens. So simply preventing, because of its hard and tough nature, it is preventing the entry of pathogen inside our body. That is making our first physical barrier. This is physical barrier. The second physical barrier is mucous membrane. Our body systems are having this mucous membrane. As we talked about, our gastrointestinal tract, means हमारा जो digestive system है वहाँ पर mucous membrane present है. Cells are there which are going to release mucus. Then our respiratory system is having this mucous membrane, plus our urinogenital tract is also having this mucous membrane. So here they are lined by the mucus, that is viscous thick substance. So whenever the pathogen or foreign particle is going to enter, this mucous membrane is going to hold that particular pathogen, and it is not allowing these pathogens to enter inside our tissues. So though they are not allowing them to invade our tissues, so they are also acting as physical barriers. So this mucous membrane is going to be present in our gastrointestinal tract, our respiratory tract, in our urinogenital tract, where when we are going to take foreign substances, foreign particles or pathogens with the help of food we are eating, means with the help of mouth, they are going to enter into our gastrointestinal tract. Again they are going to trap in the mucous membrane. Same, when we are inhaling air, foreign particles are going to enter, they are going to be trapped in the mucous membrane that is present in the respiratory tract. So these are trapping the foreign particles and not allowing them to enter inside our tissue. So skin and mucous membrane are acting as physical barriers. The second external defense is provided by physiological barrier. This physiological barrier, it is made by the secretion of different structures like our skin, our salivary glands, our eyes which are having lacrimal glands. So there are different secretions which are also providing us first line of defense. So if I simply talk about skin are having sudoriferous and sebaceous glands, sweat glands and oil glands are going to be present in our skin. They are going to release fatty acids and lactic acids. Because of this acid secretion, our pH of our skin become acidic, and this acidic pH of the skin is not allowing the microorganisms or pathogens to grow on our skin. That's why they are acting as a physiological barrier. Another physiological barrier is saliva that is secreted by salivary glands. This saliva is having lysozyme. This is an enzyme which is going to kill the bacteria that is present in our mouth or that is present in our food. So it is also not allowing these bacteria to enter inside our body. Another physiological barrier is tears, which are secreted by the lacrimal glands that are present in our eye. These tears are also having the enzyme lysozyme that is again responsible for the killing of the bacteria. So they are preventing any type of infection that can be occurring in our eyes. Another physiological barrier is basically the gut secretion. If with the help of our food the infectious agents or pathogens are going to enter inside our gut, then we know that our stomach is having high concentration of HCl, a strong acidic character is there. So this HCl will be responsible for killing of the pathogens that are going to be present in our stomach region. Then liver is going to release bile. Bile is having alkaline pH, that is also going to kill or prevent the growth of bacteria in our semi-digested food. So bile is also acting as a barrier, a physiological barrier. Another physiological barrier can be our ear wax. Inside our ears, ear wax is present, that is bitter in taste and it is yellowish brown in color. It is very viscous and it is also going to trap any of the bacteria or foreign particle and dust particles that are going to enter in our ears. So these are some of the secretions which are making our external defense or first line of defense. Now sometime what happens that the pathogens are having or they are because of any of the region, they cross this first line of defense and they enter inside our body, means they are going to function or they are going to enter inside our tissues. It can be because of wound that is present in the skin. So a pathogen can easily enter through that wound, or it can escape the mucous membrane and it can enter inside the tissues. So after escaping the first line of defense, these pathogens are going to come in contact with our second line of defense, that is our internal defense. So now the internal defense mechanism is going to function against these pathogens or any of the foreign particle. So after the failure of this external defense, now the internal defense is going to function. And the first part of this internal defense is chemical barrier. It is cellular barrier. That means different cells are functioning to prevent the disease, or they are acting as a barrier and try to stop the pathogens to enter in more and more tissues. The first thing that is going to function over here is white blood cells, or you can say white blood corpuscles, that are our leukocytes. So whenever we are infected, our infection is going to increase in our body, that leads to the increase in the number of white blood cells, that is known as leukocytosis. So WBC, number of WBC are going to increase whenever an infection is going to occur. Now these WBCs are having amoeboid shape, so they can easily leak out through the blood capillaries, that is known as diabdesis, that we have already talked in our lower classes, and they are going to be involved in killing of these foreign particles. Now these WBCs are going to function in different ways. They can function as neutrophiles, these neutrophiles are phagocytic cells which are going to engulf or phagocytize the foreign particles which have invaded our tissues. So they are numerous in number, they reach to the place where infection has taken place and they phagocytize all the infectious agents or all the foreign particles that are present. The second one are monocytes. These monocytes are small cells which later on changes into macrophages, and they are also going to show, sometimes they are also going to show phagocytosis. So neutrophils are phagocytic cells and monocytes, they are small cells which sometimes show phagocytosis, but most of the time they are going to change into large cells called macrophages. And these macrophages, they are present in our blood. Other than these, they are present in our lymphatic system. Lymphatic vessels, they are going to be present in spleen, lymph nodes, and also in, you can say, intercellular fluid. So these macrophages, they are again phagocytic in nature and they are going to phagocytize all the foreign particles that are going to be present in our tissues or in the intercellular fluid. Now these macrophages and neutrophils are also known as soldiers and scavengers because they are going to engulf the foreign particles. Along with that, they are also going to engulf the waste, or you can say dead cells of our body. So they are removing the dead part so that new cells can take that position. That's why they are known as scavengers also. So WBCs are going to function in different manner to provide our internal defense. The second cellular defense is with the help of inflammatory reaction. what happens in this inflammatory reaction? Basically what happens if we are having an injury, suppose I am having an injury on my hand, then what happens? Then the blood vessels are going to dilate. We know that from the injured or wounded part, microorganisms can easily enter, and after injury blood clotting will start. So these organisms, these pathogens will be entrapped inside our skin, and they are going to release toxins in that particular place. Because of the injury, the blood vessels are going to dilate, and this is increasing the blood supply to that particular injured part. Plus mast cells that are present on the injured part, these mast cells are going to rupture, and these mast cells are going to be ruptured because of the toxins produced by the infectious agents, and because of the rupturing of these mast cells, they are having histamine filled in them. So because of this rupturing, histamine is going to be released, and this histamine is involved in the dilation of blood vessels, and because of the dilation of blood vessels, blood supply is going to increase in that particular part. So that particular part will start appearing red in color. Plus what happens here? Fluid, that means plasma, is going to leak out, and there is accumulation of fluid, and because of accumulation of this fluid, swelling take place. So in injured part we basically see that swelling is there, redness is there. Swelling is because of the continuous accumulation of fluid in that particular part, and redness is because of increased supply of blood in that particular part. So that is involved in healing. That plasma deposition, accumulation of plasma, is diluting the toxin that are produced by microorganisms or infectious agents, and they are decreasing the effect of that particular toxin. So this is the inflammatory reaction that is going to take place at the injured site, and this inflammatory reaction is helping in fast healing of that particular injured part. Now at this injured part, neutrophils will be activated, they are attracted, neutrophils will come, and they will engulf the toxins and foreign particles that are going to be present in that particular part. Another thing which we can discuss over here is fever. When mild fever is there, body temperature increases. We know that our body temperature increases during fever. So what this fever is doing? This fever is basically reducing the growth of infectious agent in our body. So that is going to be prevent the more severe condition. If the number of infectious agent is not going to increase, that means severity of the disease is also not going to increase. So our body is going to increase its temperature simply to decrease the growth of the infectious agent that is present in our body. So that is not leading to the severe situation. So these are the cellular barriers, and last one is the cytokine barrier. Cytokine barrier is basically going to function in those cells which are infected by virus. So the virus infected cells, they are going to release a protein that is known as interferon. So interferon will be produced by the virus infected, the dead cells which have been infected by the virus. What these interferons are going to do? These interferons are going to move to the nearby cells, and these are making the other cells viral resistant. So that virus will not be able to affect the nearby cells. So that is decreasing the severity of the disease by making the cells resistant to virus. This is cytokine barrier. So these are some of the systems that are making our non-specific defense mechanism. They are functioning, they are common for all the pathogens, functioning commonly for all the infectious or foreign particles that are entering in our body. In our next class, we will discuss about the specific defense mechanism.